Our dear friends, we present you our deepest love and respect. We are together again, our dear followers. Around the beginning of April, about a month and a half ago, we talked about the increase in the number of Etortian warships coming from the Orion star system in the Earth's orbit. And we mentioned that this situation was not welcomed by many races that are members of the Federation, especially the Irma, the Alcyon Council, the Pleiades, and the Antalya people, and that this situation increased the tension in the Earth's orbit. Unfortunately, our galactic friends are currently stating with concern that this tension has reached a very high level, as follows. Last week, 2 Orion warships of Orion origin entered the Earth's high orbit, and 2 more the week before that. They always position themselves above the official airspace of the Earth, especially above 500 million kilometers. In other words, in interplanetary space, and there are currently a total of 5 Orion warships here. Currently 2 Irma ships, Claw 54 and 99, and also the Alcyon ship belonging to the Tigetans. Oh, this Orion! They are watching their ships from a safe distance, and they are clearly making it felt that they are there. By the way, the ambassador of the Antalya star race had a harsh conversation with the local Galactic Federation representatives about the presence of these 5 Orion Etortan warships, and the Galactic Federation claims that these ships are here for diplomatic purposes. But the Antarian ambassador said this: there is no need for 5 warships for a diplomatic mission. This is purely a show of force and could lead to war. He warned our friends are expressing this with concern. They are saying the Galactic Federation is literally preparing the ground for an incident by allowing so many Orion warships in orbit of a planet. This situation has evolved to a very dangerous dimension, especially when you consider star nations such as Urma, Antalya, Pleiades, and Tigetans, who have historically had serious problems with Etortans. So far, there has been no response from the Galactic Federation to this Antalya ambassador's request for the withdrawal of this Etortan Orion fleet from here. And the ambassador said, we think Antalya should bring its own fleet here in order to be cautious. He also emphasized to the Federation and also gave a clear ultimatum to the Galactic Federation that if the Orion, that is, these Etor ships, do not leave here by the end of last week, Antalya will be forced to send one of the war fleets here. The Federation arrived that weekend, that is, this past weekend, and this 5-year warship belonging to the Etorans that came from the Orion system is still there, whereas the Antalya ambassador had given an ultimatum to the local Galactic Federation on this issue and demanded that the Etherean 5 Etorian 5-ship fleet leave this high orbit of the world by the end of the week. As we have stated, some important star races see their presence, that is, the Etorans, as a harbinger of war. The local Galactic Federation received this ultimatum from the ambassador, but did not make any comments about it. However, a few days ago, the authority representatives in the local Galactic Federation headquarters on the Andromeda Biosphere ship stated that their reason for being here was diplomatic reasons, and as the Federation stated, we have the same right to be here as anyone else. And the representatives of Torah have stated that they are a member of the Galactic Federation, and that there is no need for any tension between all members, and that they are here for a peaceful purpose, so-called, of course, for a peaceful purpose, blah 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 statements stating that we should all remain so-called friends. On the other hand, the authorities of the Irma Confederation, which is the cat race, have clearly responded to these talks of the Eterons and stated that this statement is almost the same as the statement you gave to Irma just 48 hours ago, before occupying a cat race outpost in orbit of the Riel star in the Orion constellation. And that this incident was the beginning of one of the bloodiest episodes of the Orion Wars, and the Irma authorities clearly state that the Eterons are trying to hide their deception and misrepresentation and their unethical plans, and that their statements are a strategy to manipulate other star races by using so-called empathy to ensure that they remain in the Earth's orbit, and they do not believe them, by the way. The Etherions from the Orion star system deny this, but the Irmas say that they are in Antarctica on Earth. They also state that they have found evidence of high-level meetings with shadowy and suspicious characters, and these meetings were held in person in the region, instead of remote participation, in order to prevent any transmission and communication from being blocked. And this secrecy is considered as an indication that some illegal activities are being carried out on Earth, especially by the Irmas, and the Pleiades, and the Action Council, and the people of Antalya, of course, and rightly so, because if the Urians are only here for diplomatic reasons, and if they are here for secret purposes, if it was determined that they attended the meetings, why are they doing it secretly? And why should they invite others who want to attend to these meetings? They should have done this. Our friends state that they should not act secretly. In the meantime, the Antalya ambassador clearly announced last weekend that they had no other option and that they would call all 7 fighter pilots here. Their ships were ready to set off on Sunday, and as of Monday morning, they reached the high orbit of the Earth and are currently deployed. Our galactic friends are saying that the tensions in the Earth orbit have been at an unprecedented level for a long time, since the beginning of May 2025, and have evolved to a very dangerous level. In addition, while all this was happening, the Galactic Federation ordered the Pleiades and Taygetan pilots to double their orbits, but they have been using this orbital height for over 10 years, and the Pleiades-Taygetan group is saying that doubling the orbit would place them in the lower Ben Allen belts, and this would especially affect their sensors monitoring the Earth's surface and human technology. It means it causes major interference in telecommunications. Monitoring this is another strategy to prevent them from seeing what is happening on Earth, and they have not carried out this order, and they do not plan to carry it out. They have made this very clear. The Antalians' request for these 5 Eteran warships to be removed was not carried out by the Federation, of course, and the local Galactic Federation did nothing about it, and the Taurians are still in high orbit of the Earth with these 5 warships. The Antalians have complied with their ultimatum, and on Monday morning they have brought 7 of their fleets to this high ground country of the Earth, and approximately 400,000 kilometers high, within the designated airspace of the world, and put them in orbit. And Antalya's 7 fleet consists of Generation 24 large warships, and they say that they continue their presence here in order to balance the perceived threat. In the meantime, another very important development has occurred. Before the Antarian fleet arrived, the long-range Irma patrol ships near the Orion star system reported that at least 50 Orion Federation starships were lined up and preparing for the expedition. But the exact destination of these ships is not known at the moment, and none of them have reached the Earth's orbit so far. That is not the case, but still, our galactic friends estimate that their target is the Earth's orbit, and currently, the Atorians have 5 warships in Earth orbit, and Irma has 5 warships. Their flagships are Avion 1 and 4 are Claw-class ships. They pose a challenge to each other. The situation is very tense right now. As we said earlier, while preparing an entire fleet for the expedition in the Orions. In the meantime, Irma is on its home planet. They have a warship fleet in orbit of the Vega star that they have not disclosed and that they are keeping secret, waiting to set off. As you know, Vega is only 25 light-years away from Earth, and by modern starship standards, it means that it is only 10 minutes away from the ship's time to get here from Earth's orbit. Since the tensions have increased dramatically in recent weeks, the idea of mediating between Antalya Irma and the Itorum Union has been put forward, especially by TG Tali diplomats and officials from the Pleiades group, but especially by the Irma officials, who are a feline race, stated that this was unnecessary because they said that it would be impossible to conduct diplomacy with the Itorians, because it would only be a labyrinth full of lies, fake promises, and betrayals, and the Itorums rejected this mediation. As can be understood, the situation is at a very critical level. Right now, there is great military tension and tension between the two main powers. On the one hand, the Itorians, who are completely untrusted, are of Orion origin and their Orion Council friends. And on the other hand, there is the Irma Confederation and the star races. The Antarians are in the middle. They claim to have a very strong fleet to maintain peace. But of course they support the Irma side. And of course there are the Pleiades and the Catetans. And they work to continue diplomacy, representing the entire Acil Council. And they state that they have a moderate fleet of 9 starships for this purpose. And of course, they support the Irma and Antalya races. But they do not have a very strong military presence here. But perhaps the strongest reason why they did not come here in terms of military is that they, as the Acil Council, want to avoid an action that will escalate and increase the tension here even more. And there is no need for them to come anyway, because this is all they need. Even the cat-gill race, Irma, can easily control the situation here, and the Antalya forces are also present here. And perhaps the most powerful human star nation in terms of military is said for the Antalya people. And although they are also part of the Acil Council, the other star nations not intervene in this situation due to diplomatic reasons, because they are seriously worried that the tension between them will increase even more. And of course, the Galactic Federation, unfortunately, does nothing and does not make any statements while these dangerous developments are taking place. And moreover, the star intelligence reports have determined that the Ethereums are meeting with some secret society leaders in the world in Antarctica, as we have said before. And this situation actually makes things worse for the Etorians, because the feline Irmas have managed to intercept, disclose, and decipher the highly secret messages and transmissions and communications that the Etherians sent from Antarctica. And now Irma has a series of future agenda plans that these Etorians plan to implement against the human population on Earth. And Irma has shared this information with its allies, albeit with some restrictions, because they were planning to use some of the critical information they had as a strategic trump card in the future in order to reveal the secret intentions of the Etherians and to show them to other Galactic Federation star nations. And according to the Irma race representatives, the probability of the information they obtained from the Etherians being wrong is also very low, because the difficulty of accessing such information and the nature of the information obtained can largely be verified by other means and other channels. And right now, our galactic friends are also carefully evaluating how much of this information and which ones they should share with the public, of course for strategic reasons. But the Irma race has clearly stated that at least some of this information should definitely be shared with the people of the world. But of course, it is not possible for them to share everything, because the Etherians, not knowing what the opposing alliance has in their hands, provides a strategic advantage. And our galactic friends will soon reveal to us a list of these agendas that the Irmas have seized, of course, as much as they can, and their estimated dates, and we will explain them to you. Of course, these are not predictions, but a list of the actions that the Etherians are planning. Of course, it is obvious that these dates will change as our galactic friends realize what they knew before they put these plans into practice. But they do state that many of these plans are already known to certain groups in the world, and some are expected. So these may only serve as a kind of confirmation, but some may be completely new information. But this does not necessarily mean that all of them will come true, because revealing them will make their implementation much more difficult, will bring or postpone, and generally, in such cases, the deep structure cabal only restructures and reestablishes its plans. Despite everything, nothing will remain secret anymore, dear friends, and the truth will not be hidden from you and will set you free. Take care of your shine, our precious light friends.